Welcome, brave souls, to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, where the forces of chaos march ever forward, spreading corruption, disease, and death. And today is as good a day as any, with the Space Marine 2 launch less than a month away now. We can delve into the heart of Nurgle's festering legions, and these are the enemies that we're currently missing from the game that I would like to see in future expansions. And given how successful the game is going to be, it will dictate the longevity of it. Without further ado, let's get stuck exploring the vile and twisted beings that serve the Plague God. From the bloated, grotesque, great unclean ones, the generals of Nurgle's armies, to the twisted and maddened Hellbrutes, these abominations bring death and decay to all who stand before them. Their presence alone is enough to turn the tide of battle, spreading despair and disease with every step. Each of these beings we'll discuss today, whether demon or machine, is a terrifying testament to the power of Nurgle. So we'll start off lightly as we work our way up the biggest and baddest Nurglings out there. So first up we have the Plaguebearers. Plaguebearers are a rank and file infantry of Nurgle's demonic legions. They serve both as the foot soldiers and harbingers of pestilence in the Plague God's armies. These demons are bloated, grotesque, their bodies riddled with disease and poxes. Each Plaguebearer, however, is a working embodiment of decay, with skin that oozes pus and festers with sores. So these guys are armed with plague swords, which are rusted, disease-like ridden blades. Plaguebearers can inflict devastating wounds that are nearly impossible to heal. These weapons are not only physically damaging, but also spread Nurgle's corrupting touch, causing wounds to fester and rot. In addition to their melee capabilities though, Plaguebearers exude an aura of pestilence which can sap the strength of nearby enemies and spread diseases. Next up we have the Blight Haller. So the Blight Haller is a demon engine created by the forces of Nurgle and is designed to support the Death Guard in battle with both firepower and resilience. It resembles a corrupted insectoid tank. The Blight Haller is a fusion of machine and demon. And of course it is blessed by Father Nurgle with both resilience and deadly array of weapons. It's armed with a missile launcher, multi-melter and a gnashing maw. The Blight Haller can engage both infantry and armor targets with ease. The missile launcher provides the long-range firepower, with the multi-melter is devastating at close range, which means this is a very balanced enemy that will push you both at long range and at short range. And the cherry on top, the Blight Haller also emits a cloud of toxic fumes that can corrode enemy armor and sicken nearby troops. So you can imagine just how easily they can integrate this into the game. By now you would have seen the Blight Lord Death Guard in the PvP trailers. Now let's discuss the Blight Lord Terminators. As the name suggests, they are the bigger, better brothers of the Blight Lords. They are the elite warriors of the Death Guard, clad in ancient and heavily corrupted Terminator armor. These formidable units are the epitome of resilience, embodying slow, relentless advance of Nurgle's forces. Their armor, of course, once again blessed by Nurgle, is heavily reinforced and festooned with the symbols of decay, providing immense protection against all but the most powerful attacks. In battle, however, the Terminators wield a variety of weapons, including combi bolters, Plaguebearers, and bubotic axes. Combi bolters also allow them to lay down sustained fire, while Plaguebearers unleash streams of corrosive filth that can melt through the enemy ranks like hot knife through butter. Their melee weapons, often rusted and encrusted with disease, inflict horrendous wounds that are difficult to heal, ensuring that even a glancing blow can prove fatal. Alright, next up we have the Noxious Bloodbringer, which is a twisted and foul herald of Nurgle. Those abominations carry cursed bells known as the Toxin of Misery, which emit a doleful and horrifying sound that saps the will and strength of the enemy. So these are kind of like support Death Guard. As the Blightbringer marches to war, the tolling of these bells spreads an aura of despair and decay. So this will be pretty much a debuff to the player, causing enemy forces to weaken and falter even before the battle is joined. So for example, unless you take these guys out, you'll probably be dealing less damage. So in addition to their psychological warfare, Noxious Bloodbringers are armed with a plague sensor and a plasma pistol, which allows them to engage both at range and in close quarters. The plasma sensor swings in great arcs, which disperse toxic flames that choke and burn those nearby. And also, obviously, the plasma pistol provides a potent ranged attack capable of searing through any armor and flesh alike. This combination makes the Blightbringer a very formidable opponent, and also think it would be a very interesting addition to the game. Alright, time to bring out the big guns, aka the Hellbrute, which is a twisted and horrifying parody of a loyalist Space Marine dreadnought. We've already seen the Hellbrutes for 1,000 Suns, so this will be a straight reskin with obviously modified attacks. So these things serve as walking engines of destruction for the Chaos forces. Inside the armored sarcophagus of the Hellbrute is a maddened Chaos Space Marine, fused with the machine and driven insane by the horrors of the warp. This unfortunate being is trapped in internal torment, their rage and pain fueling their violent rampages on the battlefield. So you don't want to be these guys. However, they are a versatile war machine capable of engaging both infantry and vehicles with equal ferocity. In terms of armament, the Hellbrute is equipped with a variety of weapons, including power fists, multi-melters, las cannons and heavy bolters. These weapons allow the Hellbrute to tear through enemy infantry, vehicles and fortifications with ease. The power fists are particularly devastating in close combat, capable of smashing tanks and even crushing the toughest of foes. So pretty much this thing is a juggernaut, nothing will stand in its way. Not to mention the resilience is also enhanced by its demonic nature, and pretty much the fact that it's allowed with Nurgle just makes it even more resilient than the rest of the Chaos Hellbrutes out there. So guys, these things have a combination of overwhelming firepower, close combat prowess and near unstoppable resilience, and it will make him a terrifying presence in Space Marine 2, so fingers crossed we see this in the near future. Alright, next up we have what the stuff or nightmares are made of. The Beast of Nurgle is a grotesque and repulsive demon that embodies Nurgle's twisted idea of affection and playfulness. These creatures are massive slug-like beings with a childlike innocence and always eager to greet new friends, which in their minds includes any unfortunate enemy soldier they encounter. However, the beast's idea of playtime is not what you think. It is deadly, as it eagerly crushes, smothers and infects its playmates with the most virulent diseases. Despite their terrifying appearance, beasts of Nurgles are often portrayed as almost pitiable, seeking out new friends only to destroy them in their enthusiasm. In battle, however, the Beast of Nurgle is a deadly close combat unit. It's its massive bulk and powerful tentacles to crush and maim its enemies. Its body exudes toxic slime, which can cause those nearby to suffer from debilitating diseases. Additionally, however, the beast is also incredibly resilient. Just like all other Nurgle marked units, they're slow, but they're very resilient. With the ability to rapidly heal from wounds that would be fatal to other creatures, this thing will bounce back in the battlefield and right up in your face. It makes it a persistent and dangerous foe, as it can absorb an incredible amount of damage. So this would be a very good mini boss were they to implement it in the game. Next up we have the Demon Prince of Nurgle. So the Nurgle Demon Prince is a former mortal who has been elevated to demonhood by Nurgle. They have become a powerful and terrifying embodiment of the Plague God's will. These beings are immense, bloated monstrosities, their bodies swollen with the gifts of Nurgle. As Demon Princes, they possess incredible physical strength, resilience, and the ability to wield potent demonic powers. Nurgle Demon Princes are often seen leading the forces of Nurgle into battle. This very presence spreading despairs and disease among the enemy ranks. They are living avatars of Nurgle's endless cycles of death and rebirth. It embodies both the rot and renewal that the Plague God represents. Now let's discuss combat. In combat, Nurgle Demon Princes are equipped with a variety of powerful weapons. They range from massive plague-infested axes to corrupted staffs that channel the power of the warp. Their physical attacks are devastating and capable of crashing tanks and infantry alike. While their demonic powers can spread disease and weaken enemies, they can also summon additional demonic reinforcements, so they can open the gates to the warp and bring in the Nurgle reinforcements. So Nurgle Demon Princes are also highly resilient, as you would expect from a Nurgle unit, and they're able to regenerate. So these guys will be an absolute menace. There'll be something akin to a tyrant, like a hive tyrant. Something massive, agile, and they're heavy hitters. Next up, one of my personal favorites is the Great Unclean One. So the Great Unclean One is one of those most terrifying and iconic demons of Nurgle. They are big, they're fat, they carry those bells, and they serve as Plague God's most favored greater demons. They're massive, bloated entities and a walking embodiment of decay and disease. Their immense bodies covered in sores, pustules, and other grotesque manifestations of Nurgle's gifts. Despite their horrific appearance, however, the Great Unclean Ones are often depicted as jovial and affectionate. If you've played Total War Warhammer 3, you know what I'm talking about. They view their role in spreading diseases as joyous duties. In battle, the Great Unclean One is nearly unstoppable force. Its immense bulk allows it to absorb vast amounts of damage, shrugging off blows that would fell lesser creatures. It wields a variety of weapons, often including a massive plague sword or bile blade, which are capable of inflicting horrendous wounds. Additionally, the Great Unclean One possesses powerful psychic abilities, so they're also psychers, capable of casting devastating spells that can summon demons, spread disease, or weaken the resolve of the enemy. So this can be like a massive damage dealer, debuffer, and also like a psyker. So this combination of overwhelming physical strength, resilience, and magical prowess makes them one of the most feared beings on the battlefield, and another reason why I think they'll be a huge addition to this game. And last but not least, which I think deserves a place on this list, is the Plague Hulks. They are massive demon engines of Nurgle, an unholy fusion of both machine and demon created to spread disease and destruction on a scale never seen before. These towering monstrosities are constructed from the corrupted remains of Imperial war machines, twisted and reshaped by the foul energies of the warp. They're pretty much a walking fortress of decay, its body swollen with toxic gases and infectious filth, and ready to unleash Nurgle's gifts upon the enemies of chaos. They're armed with massive plague cannons and a corrupted close combat weapons such as Bile Spewing Maw or Crushing Claws. The Plague Hulk is also capable of inflicting massive damage both at range and in melee. The Plague Cannon can hurl enormous shells filled with virulent toxic that can explode upon impact, which will spread disease and corruption over a wide area. Now, in close combat, the Plague Hulk will tear apart infantry and vehicles with its crushing appendages, spreading Nurgle's wrath with every strike. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Let me know whether or not you're enjoying the content and whether or not you think they will be implementing this in the game in future expansions and DLC. As always, thank you for watching. I do appreciate your time and I hope to catch you next video. Peace.